Okay, so at number 1, maar ek gaan daar dat ek net 'n papiertjie oopmaak, dan gaan ek nou vir jou sê. Oh, daai lyk nie lekker nie. Net die stop mooi maak. Ja. Uitgeteken. So right, ek weet wat jy bedoel. Alright, so at number 1, they say, ja? Hierdie hoekie, daai ene. Hierdie. Okay, wait, kom ek gaan gou, ja, sê maar. Gou, jy het gesit. PD op sin 21 en dan sê jy AE. Maar ons maar nee, maar dan gebruik ons eerder as jy dit wil doen, gebruik jy gewone Trig soos as jy wil werk met hom en hom, dan sê jy oorstaande op skuins. Verstaan jy? Moet nooit sin 90 gebruik binne hierdie. Ja. Sien dan, dit is hoekom ons hom nie gebruik nie, want dan dit gaan nie veel verder bring nie. Okay. Alright, kom ons kyk gou vinnig. Let's quickly work through these together. So at number 1, they said, okay, first things first. Onthou net, nee, hier het hulle nou veel mooi gewys, dis 90 grade. But we can also assume that this would then be 90. Nee. Sê my hulle saam? Okay, don't think of the top of a roof, meaning the top of the school roof. Maar as jy nou gou kyk, hierdie vloer, nee, is horizontal, and this roof of our classroom is also horizontal. So basically they are parallel to each other. Nee, and that's how I knew that that would be 90 and 90. Do you guys understand that part? Okay, goed. Dis is wanneer hulle praat van 'n toring, nee? 'n tower of 'n paal. Okay, jy sal nie sommer sien dat hulle 'n telefoonpaal teen 60 grade gaan insit in die grond nie. Nee? They usually put it at 90 degrees sodat hy mooi regop is. Okay. Okay, so kom ons kyk gou-gou at number 1 they said ABC dis 'n gebou waarop 'n toring DE opgerig is. So this part is our tower. Nee. Okay, die hoogtehoek vanaf A, okay, daai goedjies het hulle net als vir mooi verduidelik. Now they want you to calculate the height of that tower. Right, so, what I first did is I got angle AB, kom ek werk met die highlighter, ABE. This one. Nee, hoe het ek hom gekry? I just said, take that full 90, which was given, minus the 48, which was also given. You guys fine with that? Nee. Okay, now that I've got that angle, I also want BAE. Now that's BAE, that full angle. Now, as I said, this will be 90 en 90 plus daai 21 gee dan vir my hierdie 111. You guys good with that? Okay, now because that is 111, if you look at the big triangle, that one. I've got 42, I've got 111, so I could get that angle here. Does it make sense? Okay, en hy gaan mos nou weer 27. That was basically angles of a triangle. Okay, so nou het ek al die inligting wat ek nodig het. Now I'm going to say BE, that one, over sine 190, want hulle is mos oorkant mekaar, will be equal to 30 over sine 27. Is julle nog reg? Okay, right. Then I cross multiply those to get BE would then be 61,69. Okay, now BE is mos nou daai lyn. Nee. Okay. Now, why did I use that? Or why did I calculate that? Because later on I can use that to get this the tower, the height of that tower. Okay, nou volgende, gaan ek gaan sê, EC, this full line, sorry, say it the other way around. Sin 48, so if this triangle is a 90 degrees triangle. Nee, ek het nou net gesien by Newton, he wanted to use the sine rule with a 90 degrees angle. Nee, we don't do that, because what's sine 90? Dit gee vir jou 1. Nee, so it's not going to help me. I'm not going to get any further than what I am before I started using that sine 90. So whenever you see a 90 degrees angle, rather use the other method, like saying, in this case, if I work from the 48, I've got BE. I've got that side, so meaning the hypotenuse, and I want the opposite. Because I want opposite and hypotenuse, dan gebruik ek mos vir sin. Nee, so rather use that method. Yes. Wat moet ek gaan stadiger? ED plus 30, ja. Yes. En toe het hy veel verder gegaan. Okay, maar jy het al klaar hierdie gekry. Hy het hom van die begin af probeer met die sin 90 en toe help het vir hom niks verder het. Ja. Okay, right. So, hier het ek gewerk met 'n groot driehoek, so I said sine 48 would be opposite, meaning the EC, over hypotenuse, which was that 61,69, nee? Dan gaan maal ek mos nou met hierdie 61, and then I get 45,84. But that was for this full line EC, daai hele lyn. Now the bottom part we know is 30. So basically I took the 45 minus the bottom part, which was 30, and dit is hoe ek kry die 15,84. You guys good? Any questions? Soos wat jy hom gedoen het, is reg. So jou eerste deel is dieselfde as myne en dan net onder verskil jy dit. It's fine. Yeah. Any other method that you guys maybe used? Julle reg? Goed, kan ek skip? You don't? Huh? Okay, excuse, maybe I didn't say that. Because they said AB is 30, we knew that BC would also be 30. ED and add the 30. You didn't have to, because the tower was only from D to E. Yeah, so that's the part that I actually want to calculate. Okay, so if you could do just ED, fine, then you skip directly to that. Okay? But I couldn't, so I used that full line, the big side, and then to get this 45, and then eventually just subtracted the 30 to get the tower part. Because technically it's building, and then on top of the building is the tower. Okay. That's it. So jy het gestop by 45,1. Ja, maar kyk gou-gou. As jy mooi gaan lees. Is 'n gebou waarop 'n toring DE opgerig is. So especially here at the 3D, the one that we're doing after this as well, né? You must read very carefully. Okay. Okay, kan ek skip? Right, number 2. ABCD is 'n stuk veld in die vorm van 'n trapezium. BD is gelyk aan DC and they're both X. I showed you that there. And then BDC is 120. I showed you this at the bottom. Now they want you to show that BC will be square root 3X. So I know that's the answer that I'm going to end with. I just got to go see how do I get there. Okay, nou kyk gou hier. They want me to calculate BC. Nou gaan kyk gou wat het jy as jy kyk na hierdie driehoek. I have got two sides and an inclusive angle. En dit was my clue dat ek die cos-reël gaan gebruik. Nee? Right, so then if I substitute into that cos rule, BC squared would be x squared plus x squared minus 2 times xx. Cos 120. Goed, en nou het ek net gaan vereenvoudig. X squared plus x squared gave me the 2x squared. Minus 2 times x is ook 2x kwadraat. And now, have a look. The cost 120. Isn't that the same as 180 minus 60? No? Okay, and that's how I could say that would be cost 60. Julle reg? Goed, now, okay, cost 60 is also the same as a half. And then a half of 2x squared will just be x squared. Nou kan ek daai tweekies gaan by mekaar tel. And that gives me 3x squared. Maar onthou, dit was gewees vir BC squared. So if I want just BC, I've got to get square root of that whole thing. But square root of 3 will stay square root 3. And square root of x squared will become x. You guys good there? Hoekom maak jy vir my so? Waar is jy nie lekker nie? Ouwe? Kom, sê. Okay, BC over sine, and then you said x over... Okay, you could. 160, so dit gaan wees 30. Yes, good. You could have said that. Okay, then da x sine 30 divided by yes is perfect. Okay, maar nou you've got to show me how you got from there to this.
Then I took it over and then I said sine 120 over sine 30.
Yeah.
And then I put the x bit. And the x was here.
Come again, sine 120 over sine 30. Yeah, but I mean, how did you get there? You must show me that. So it's fine, you could just show me the step in between. Okay, so show me that will be sine 180 minus 60, right? And then I've got a special angle, right? Once I reduce that, and then write that and this in terms of my special angles, and then you'll eventually get to this. Because the x is going to stay there, it's not going to be able to cancel. Then, yes, 100%. Okay, but you are going to lose 1 or 2 marks because you didn't explain in between there. Yeah. Oh, have a look. We said just now that this was 180 minus 60. No. Okay, now that places me in which quadrant? Second. And what is cost there? Negative. So that was a negative. So then it becomes negative to, it actually looks like this. Minus because of that. And then the cost becomes minus. So that minus and minus becomes a plus. Does it make sense? Sien res van julle by? Okay. Kan ek maar 2.2 toe? Nee? 2.2 says, laat ek gaan vir julle sê, she did something different, nee? Which is also correct. She said, okay, still in that same triangle. Because this is x and x, it makes it an isosceles triangle. Nee? Toe sê sy, dan gaan hierdie raak 30 en 30. Nee? Angles of a triangle. And then what she did is she used sine 120 over BC is equal to sine 30 over x. And then she got to the same thing. So you could even have used that. Okay, wag, kom ons kyk gou. Onthou, daar's baie keer multiple ways of getting to the same answers. Kom ons kyk net gou eers. 2.2 sê vir jou as, wag, ek gou daai 30 so wegvat. As BC 300 meter is 300. Nee? Then they want you to determine the value of x. So, omdat hulle vir my, because they asked me to work out that BC would be square root 3x at 2.1. I took the shortest route possible and said, okay, that, make it equal to 300. Nee? Is julle reg? So then all I did is, that square root 3, I basically take over, nee, and divide it by square root 3 to get this. Okay, wat het jy gedoen? Jy het wat? O, met ander woorde, dit wat sy nou gedoen het by 2.1. Ja, jy kon even dit ook. Jy het by dieselfde antwoord uitgekom, né? Ja, same thing. Alright, soos ek sê, onthou, mens probeer altyd. You always try and use the shortest method possible, but I mean, if there's only one method popping into your head, then you use that one, né? Goed, kom ons kyk gou 2.3. Bereken nou die waarde van A as AB 200 meter is. So if this is 200. Now, right, now we just said that this angle B, DBC, is 30 and ACB, okay, DBC is 30, en dan gaan hy ook wees 30. ACB, my woorde raak te mekaar. Verwisselend, yes, yeah. Do you guys all see that? It's alternate angles. Nee, okay, so dan weet ek daai is 300. Now I can say, sine A over 300 would be the same as sine 30 over 200. Nou gebruik ek net weer my sinreël. Cross multiply, so I'm going to get sine A would be 3 over 4. Maar hulle wil hê ek moet net vir hoekie A kry, so dan gaan ek sê shift sine 3/4 to get the 48,59. Nee. Hierdie enetjie. Wat ek nou net gou 180 minus. Want nou wat ek gou self dink, 30. Ja, it could be, luister, it could be that A is an acute angle, nee, en dan gaan hierdie hoekie B mos nou baie groter wees, nee, or it could be that that would be the 131, so met ander woorde obtuse angle, nee, en dan gaan daai weer 'n baie kleiner hoekie gaan wees. Okay, ek weet nie wat B is nie, I don't know what angle B is. Alright, so therefore I'm giving two options. You guys good? Two, yeah. They wanted me to get angle A, right? And if you think of angles of a triangle, if I work with this triangle, right? If that is 48,59 and this is 330, right? Then that will be a very big angle. Angle B will be an obtuse angle. But I don't know what angle B is. I don't know whether that's an obtuse or an acute angle. And they always say it's not drawn to scale. So ek kan nie net gaan op hoe hy lyk nie, nee? So it is also possible that that could be 131,41. How do I get that? If I take 180 minus this 48,59, nee? It could be that as well. Because if that's the obtuse angle, then it's still possible for this one to be an acute. So in the case of exclusion, net as daai derde enetjie mos nou nie gewys is nie. Okay. There was no other way of going to test and have a look at what it would be an acute or an obtuse angle. Okay. Sarah? Goed. En onthou ook, nee, the other thing is sine is positive in the first and the second quadrant. First quadrant would be just the acute angle. Second quadrant is 180 minus that same acute angle. And sine will still be positive. Does that also make sense? But it's because sine will be positive. If it was, let's say, cos, then you don't even have to worry about the second. Okay. Okay, good. Het ek nie 2.4 gedoen nie.
Ja, ek het 2.4 is die area.
Ah. Okay, ek gaan nou nog hoeveel dit skryf. Merk gou. Sal nou gou terug soontoe. Okay, so at number 4. In triangle QPS is SQP, is PSQ 60 grade, PS is A, whatever. Okay, so they want me to show that K is equal to, ek het nooit veel gesê, hulle moet daai A insit nie. Nee. Het daar nie aan gestaan. If there wasn't an A in your textbook, please just put it in there. Because I forgot to tell you guys that. Page 122. Just take out your textbook, please. Dankie tog. Want anders sou jy dalk so 'n bietjie lost gewees het. Bladsy 122, take out your textbook. Kyk gou hier, this A. That one at the bottom. Kyk gou hier daai enetjie. Ja man. Daai ene. Is that A filled in your textbook? A over 2, same thing as a half A, yeah. Okay, so yours is A over 2. Wat is joune? Net 'n half. Okay, maak net daar 'n kappietjie en vul die A in, dat die arme volgende jaar se ouetjie dit reg kry. You too? Yours, Oom? So, did you fill in the A? Julle ook, joune was klaar. The rest of Okay, right. So we know that we've got to work towards that. No? Okay, so first things first, let's get angle P. Now, angle P, if you look at this big triangle there, or the top triangle, I've got theta and I've got 60. So that's why P will be 180 minus 60 plus theta. Okay? Then, I can use sine rule. I can say, let's use QS over sine of this angle at P, which we just worked out, will be equal to A, or A, over sine theta. Nee, ek gebruik my sinreël. Nou gaan maal ek gou uit. So, it would be QS times sine theta, and then sine, this big one, times A. Now, 180 minus places me in the second quadrant. Nee, en wat is sin daar? Positief. So jy sal sien ek skiep direk na sin 60 plus theta. So is everyone fine up until here? Wees nie daarby nie. Nou het ek vir QS. Okay, now my next step is to work with a triangle at the bottom. Ek wil vir QS gaan uitwerk. Nee? And I have K, and I have this angle. So, if I work from that angle, have a look. Opposite over adjacent. So, that's how I knew I'm going to use tan theta will be equal to K over QS. Is julle reg daar? Okay, now, from here, basically multiply with a QS. So, K will be equal to QS times tan theta. En nou gaan stel ek in. Daai is mos QS. So I'm going to put that over here. Nee. You guys good? Goed. Ek het hom vir jou so bietjie maklik, of vir my het dit gevoel hy's makliker. So kyk gou mooi. Hierdie hele ding is QS. En daar's my tan theta. Okay. So let's look at QS again. A times sine 60 plus theta. Now that's sine 60 plus theta. I wrote it out the long method. Dan raak hy mos sin 60 cos theta plus cos 60 sin theta. Almal reg daar. Now the next step, all I did is I multiplied in the A and I changed the sine 60 and the cos 60. Het ek met my spesiale driehoekies gaan verander. So kyk gou hierdie eerste term, net daai enetjie. Nee? Dit gaan raak, sin 60 is mos square root 3 over 2. Dan, ek het dit gemaal met die A, and then cos theta.
Wat speel die ander sin theta wat onder was met QS?
Jy gaan nou sien, ek gaan uitmaal. Ja, jy gaan nou sien. Ek kom nog daar. Okay, then, this part, nee, the cos 60 became a half. I have to multiply it with that A, so that's where this A comes from, and then sine theta. So is everyone fine with this top part? Wees nie by met die boonste deel nie. Julle reg? Okay, no. He just asked what happened to the sign at the bottom. Kyk gou hier. This sign cancels out with that sign. Nee. En dis hoekom ek dan nou onder net het cos theta. Maak dit nou sin? Hier ene. Maar daar staan hy. Ja, ek het vir tan hierso. Daai staan. So kyk gou hier. Dis wat ek nou nog sê. Hierdie is QS maal tan. Nee, dis net ek het baie gedoen in een lyntjie. Right, any questions up until here? Okay, nou kan ek gaan basically put both of them over the cos theta. So kyk gou net vir my na hierdie. If I put that first term over cos theta, do you guys see that that's going to cancel out? So that's why I only have square root 3 over 2a. Julle reg? Okay. Dan sit ek my tweede term op cos theta. I couldn't cancel out because it was more than one term at the top. And there was nothing that I can take out as a common factor. Dis kom ek om so gaan opbreek. Okay, so as ek dit bo op mekaar gaan sit, then that half a stays half a. And the sine theta over cos theta becomes tan theta. Okay. Ja. So, well, as jy net die A geweet het, ja. Okay. Is die res van julle okay? Huh? You guys good? Any questions? Goed, kan ek maar skip? Okay, kom ons kyk gou. Nommer 6. At number 6, we say. Daar verduidelik hulle net weer vir jou wat elkeen is, d en x en theta. Nou sê hulle vir jou, gebruik die kosreël om aan te toon dat x is gelyk aan 2d cos theta. Right. So we want to use cos rule. First things first. What do we need for cos rule? We need two sides and an inclusive angle. Nee? So hier gaan ek sê, I've got to work with d and x and theta, because then I've got two sides and an inclusive angle. Okay, so d kwadraat is gelyk aan x kwadraat plus d kwadraat minus 2dx cos theta. Okay, then from there, if I take this d squared over, ja, of eintlik andersom. I take, it's just an extra step. This minus, if I take that to this side, it becomes positive 2 dx cos theta. Nee. And then take this to the other side, then it will be x squared plus d squared minus d squared. So sien jy daai d squares are going to cancel each other out. Sien julle dit? Nee. Wie sien dit nie? Does everyone see how I got to that first step? This one. Huh? Okay. Okay, maybe. So if I take that to this side, it will become positive 2dx cos theta. Right. Now take this, so that's the positive 2dx cos theta. Take this to that side, it will become minus d squared. So I have x squared plus d squared minus d squared. So the d squared minus d squared will cancel each other out, and that's why I only have x squared left. So actually these two must be written like that, but it's the same thing. Hey, are you fine? I'm not right. Okay, then from there, can you see I've got x squared? And I only want x. And hier het ek ook nog 'n x. So technically all I did is I divided both sides by x.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now announcement.
And done. So if I do this, divide by x, that will just become x. Divide by x, these two will cancel out. And then I only have 2d cos theta. Sê hulle reg? Okay.
Alle leerders wat hoofrolle in die musical sing en met wie mevrou Nel verweer wens.
Mag ek iets kyk?
Sessie, dosie,
Ja, I can't give you guys anything. Ek gaan.
Jasmine Beyers en Natasha Bashir.
Ja, ek weet mos moet dit maar môre. Want ek wil nog eers 3D met julle verstaan, deurwerk. Dit help ek gee dit net vir julle, dan gaan julle last voel. Dit gaan nie vir julle lekker wees nie. Yeah. Okay, so make sure you copy as much as you can, if not everything. Okay. Vorige enetjie. En pa? Ek gaan nou kyk. Wat sê ene? 6.1. Ja, wat? Kyk daar. Ja, so jy gaan stel, onthou, dis baie keer wanneer hulle vir jou so 6.1, 6.2, hoekom het hulle dit vir my daar gevra? Want ek gaan dit 10 nodig hê, né? Okay, maar ek sal môre weer deur 6.2 gaan saam met julle daar deurwerk.